comes the highwaywoman. She comes with music for your soul, and then moves along. She moves along.
This is Bridget London. If you're just joining us, you're listening to the Highwaywoman radio show, and I am so pleased to have on the show with me right now Mr. Jason Boland from Jason Boland and the Stragglers. He has a brand new album called Dark and Dirty Mile. We're going to preview cuts from that, talk about this album and his music. So, hey Jason, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
This album kind of blew me away, Jason. Really, really great stuff here, and I want to talk about the recording and the songs a little bit.
Absolutely.
First of all, let's give a little background on folks. Now, you've been in the music business for quite some time and released several records in the, I guess you'd call it the red dirt scene, but it really, for me, when I listen to your music, I feel like I'm listening to a little bit of, Waylon influence, and you definitely have your own style. Who do you think was maybe your most influential songwriter and singer on your music?
I would say overall, and what, my dad listened to growing up, that I would have to say, whether whoever you want to point to, I'd still have to say Johnny Cash probably.
Yeah.
The most to do overall.
Overall.
I mean, not that, there's not a lot of Merle Haggard influence, and of course Waylon Jennings and Billy and all the Outlaws, but something about Johnny Cash and something about his storytelling, and I don't know, maybe having a deep voice or whatever, but
right.
And my dad was really into Johnny Cash, and he had several of his albums on vinyl that I now have in my vinyl collection and listen to regularly.
I can see that you're not afraid to cover subjects in your songs like the way Johnny did,
Yeah, on our last record, I think somebody said he dips a toe into the icy water of social commentary or something. I thought, where in the hell are we? I'm a folk singer. I'm a country singer. Isn't that what I'm supposed to do? I mean,
that's right.
When did that become dipping a toe into the icy waters? It should be that we've dipped a toe into the icy waters of frivolous, good time music, which that should be in there too. You should have dance hall songs and drinking songs and party songs about the lake, but it shouldn't define a movement of art that is to describe a rural people,
Absolutely. And speaking of that, you do that all over Dark and Dirty Mile in both ways. You have both the fun and also, going through some of these other songs. And let's feature the title track to start out, Dark and Dirty Mile, and tell me why you chose that as the title track.
Well, some of the little things that you look at when you're putting together a record are the effect you want it to have. You're putting it out there. So in creating effect, many times things will avoid the hitting the big nail on the head right at first. Don't call the album this, or don't even call it a track off the record. Don't do this as the first single. Set it up for the big one. And, like you said, this is our next record, our seventh studio. This one, for some reason, it became the first track on the record, the title track, the first single, everything. So I guess from a lot of avoiding doing that or something on this one, it just seemed right. And it set the tone for the rest of the record, which is just a template for a classic country record. It's just songs about love and hard times and getting through it all,
Absolutely. Well, let's play that for everybody, and then I want to come back and talk a little more about some of these other songs and what you've got going on. Sound good?
It sounds great.
All right, here is the title track, folks. You have to get this album immediately. Trust me, you're going to love it. Dark and Dirty Mile. We'll be right back.
All you're told to do is sin and bury it for a little while on this dark and dirty mile.
again, that was Dark and Dirty Mile from Jason Boland. We're talking with Jason about his brand new album with the same name. We're going to play some more songs off of that. Now, Jason, are you touring a lot this year? Going to tour a lot on this album? Or are you sticking around close to home? Tell me what your plans are for this year.
Life is a tour. You know, we never leave the road, really. We tour constantly, and you carve out time for making records and being home and whatnot. We're actually this week heading over next week to Europe. I've got a acoustic show in Belgium, a couple acoustic in Italy, and then the band meets up with us and we do a show out in Pontivy, France. So got that coming up right before the record comes out, and head back here and try to get home and make the tomato plants grow.
When you perform, now you say you've got some acoustic stuff coming up. You know, it's such a different world going from acoustic to the full band. You find it, you know, it has a different kind of connection with the audience either way, right?
It does. It's the acoustic is much more engaging, and you feel like you have the opportunity to do what you can for the people in those audiences. You know, a person that really wants to hear a certain song that's in your repertoire or whatever. And then sometimes with the big crowd, you have this I can't please everybody feeling, so let's just do what we know works. And hope you guys have a good time, too. And if you don't, come back and see us next time.
I'd like to talk a little bit about the song They Took It Away and play it for folks. Would you do that?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Some of our mentors and heroes throughout the years, the way we ended up the way we are, most of them we bumped into around Stillwater in a place called The Farm. And they include Tom Skinner, the Red Dirt Rangers, Bob Childers, and Randy Crouch. Well, between Bob Childers and Randy Crouch, I'd say you have, as a band, two of our favorite songwriters ever on the planet. And they were our buddies, and they write about things we know, too, so we're probably a little bit partial, but there's something really special about them to us. Mm-hmm. So we've always done a Bob Childers song on every record, and I think we've missed a couple of records of doing Crouch tunes, but we've almost always done a Crouch tune as well. This is the Randy Crouch song that we picked for it, and after 2 days of tracking, we got to work. Shooter Jennings came in and produced our record, and we rehearsed a couple of times before it, got in and tracked it in 2 days, and we had 10 songs, and we thought, we need one more. Do we even want to do we were throwing out, you want to do a Dylan cover, you want to do Hard Rain or something. We didn't know, and Grant was sitting over there just picking this Crouch tune, and I thought, that tune would be perfect for this record, and it fell right in there, and another one that's a little history lesson within a good song.
Let's play this track, and we'll be right back. How's that?
Sounds good.
All right, folks, here's They Took It Away from Dark and Dirty Mile.
Back before Jackson signed the deal to make it Indian territory, in the winter that was freezing cold, they marched to Cherokee. In the land rush the settlers stole every place that they could be. They took it away. They took it away again. They had the sword and they had the pen, worse than Spaniards come for gold. They took it away. They took it away again. Now they poison the lakes and the lands that their great-grandfathers stole.
I want to go right into another song already. I want to feature as much as I can of this album. Talk to me a little bit about Ludlow.
Ludlow is a tune, of course, about the Ludlow Massacre. Mm-hmm. It's a well-written, little-known event, I guess. I'm a Johnny-come-lately on writing about it, because everybody from Woody Guthrie to Howard Zinn has, but it's just an important event, and I don't know why this chord progression brought that song out. I really don't. The whole time I was, really enjoying the melody and the chord progression, and you're always just trying to find some small tweak that'll make this one a little different than the last one, and I had it, and I thought, why is this becoming about this? And I couldn't get it out of my head, so I just finished it, and really, really happy I did. It was one of those that it spoke, to me, so I just went ahead and wrote it, and everybody that heard it enjoyed it, and it came out great on the record. I love the dobro.
Absolutely. This is Ludlow, folks. Jason Boland.
Cause the blood sure did flow up in Ludlow. The air became full of smoke and lead. The blood sure did flow up in Ludlow, my friends. Left a lot of decent people dead. Oh, the blood sure did flow up in Ludlow, my friends.
And we're back here on the Highwaywoman radio show. We're playing tracks from Jason Boland's brand new album, Dark and Dirty Mile. And he's on the road all the time, and you can catch him just about anywhere, even over in Europe and Italy, he says, this year. You're all over. And do you spend much time playing around Oklahoma?
Yeah, you know, Tornado Alley's still our home. It's we spend a lot of time in Nebraska, Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, New Mexico, Colorado, really. Just that big middle swath, you know, you can find us somewhere around there. And then we actually do pretty well on the coast. It's just, you know, going out there, and we're not label supported or anything. So we go out there, and that's us getting the shows done and putting the gas and everything. So, and then you have the crazy things that happened last time. We had sold out shows on the East Coast, and Hurricane Sandy came through and had different plans. So you're dealing with Murphy's Law out there and everything else. So we're just glad to still be doing it and at the level we do.
Absolutely. Do you have like something that stands out in your mind so far with your music, and a moment that maybe, you know, is real significant or means the most to you, somebody that you got to record with or sing with, or just something, you know, magical that happened when you were out on the road?
Yeah, I've definitely got to have some people that I really look up to coming on our records. And as far as magical, the ones that are your friends are just as magical as anything, but as flattering and as honored as I've been, Billy Joe Shaver and Robert Earl Keen have both come in and sang on our records, and those were both just too cool.
Absolutely.
I didn't know how to even thank those guys and what that means. So in turn, I've gone and sang on my share of other people's records too.
Well, and that says something when you have Billy Joe and Robert Earl Keen on your music. You know, that says a lot because of who they are and how integral with what they do. So that should make you feel good and know that you're right in alignment on their path, which is really cool.
Well, yeah, and it helps you, gives you faith in yourself to keep doing what you're doing, because you know, there's so many of us out here. We're just people too, and we have our doubts and our own insecurities about things more than anybody else. It's probably how we ended up doing what we're doing. But you know, you're just on a search and a journey, and you're always trying to push it and make it better. So when those guys give you any form of indication, it makes you think, okay, keep doing this, because I don't think any responsible quote unquote artist we get in a whole discussion on what an artist is, but just having the opportunity to be true to themselves, you know, and then have people that are like-minded say, yeah, that's how I felt and that's what I went through. You know, it's not what they're actually saying, but it's what they feel like they're saying when they come and give you that pat on the back.
Definitely. And we want to tell folks, too, that this album, Dark and Dirty Mile, available now this week, and you can check out Jason's schedule on his website. And why don't you pick a song from Dark and Dirty Mile for us to play and maybe talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Let's see. Let's go with Lucky, I guess. Lucky, I guess, is just, you know, what it sounds. It seems like through life we go through, you know, every wrong way of trying to do things, but as Mandy, my wife, has shown me, you know, it'll always work out in the end, and it always will come out better than you can ever even imagine. So no matter how many, you know, bad luck, quote unquote, things you might have done, just know that it'll all come out in the wash.
All right, here's Lucky, I Guess, from the new album, Dark and Dirty Mile.
Evil lies and curses, dark clouds and hearses don't ever seem to interrupt my flow. I'm still the best off person I know. Just lucky, I guess.
Jason, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners that you've got coming up besides, and we'll know you'll be on the road and touring on this album, working on anything else you want to share with us?
It's always time to start working on the next record, and
yeah.
I will. Yeah, I'm already a couple of songs into it, so I'm going to get an 8-track at the house and start demoing some stuff out of here, and I think I'm probably about another album away from starting a label. So for any indie artist that hear what I hear, you know who you are. If you want to record the way I record, I think we're gonna. This last album, one thing, it doesn't mean a lot to many people, and even the ones that it does, they'll spin it a different way. We recorded straight to tape, and by saying that, we didn't turn around and tape it and then dump it into a computer after it was on tape and then back on the tape.
Right.
It never saw a computer. So it's all performances. There's bad notes on there. There's clunkers, but we were going for the spirit and for the tone. And for what we want and for what I hear, we nailed it. So if you want to hear what I think nails it for as well as we can do it, for as good a job as we can do, this is it.
Hell yeah. Definitely want to hear more records like this. That's for sure. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Bridget London, and this has been the Highwaywoman Radio Show.
Now there she goes, the highwaywoman, and she's brought music